Welcome everyone to the very first installment of Prop Talk. We might workshop the name, but this is going to be a series of videos where I'm going to go through my creative thinking process on how I want to tackle everything. So hopefully in the future, it'll help you make something, or you can just figure out how I actually make things, because knowing things is kind of fun. So let's dive right into it. We're going to go over my very most recent build, the half Venom Mask. Now, this one was a lot of fun. Had a couple complications, but we'll go over that in just a second. So, in order to pull the patterns, I didn't cover my head in tinfoil or duct tape, which I could have done, but I decided to go a different route. I have a foam head cast that I got from punishprops.com. You can go ahead and right over to their website, download it. I think it's like a couple bucks. This thing really helped me out. So then I went ahead and covered this. Well, actually, this thing I have to probably make another one because, you know, we got this little split right here and everything. I kind of cut directly on there, so I wouldn't do that if I was you. So we'll go ahead. We covered it in tinfoil and then some duct tape. Well, it's just painter's tape, but this is what I had right by me at the moment. And then I came up with the pattern for this guy. This right here, all this little wiggly stuff, I just kind of had to, I basically freehanded it, just kind of what it made it look good. And yeah, it actually came out pretty good. So after that, I really had to think about how I was going to actually put it on my head. That's where I thought of the zipper. Now I use this in one of my other builds for my Winter Soldier arm. I'll put a link somewhere on the screen. It'll be here somewhere, but it'll be there for that video. And basically, this zipper, when it's closed, everything fits super tight. Now this is the problem that I actually ran into. When I was gluing, I wasn't very careful about where I put the contact cement. Oh yeah, and contact cement works just fine with a zipper. No problem. But I may have put a little bit of contact cement on the actual zipper itself. So in order to close it, it's very difficult. Actually, I think this one doesn't work anymore. But if you don't do that and you're careful, yeah, it'll work just fine. Next thing was, there's a lot of seams on this that when you first look at it, you can't really tell from, you know, a couple feet away, but when you get up close, it really doesn't hold up to too much scrutiny. Now, I really could have used some Alex Fast Dry to cover it up, sand it again, cover it up, sand it again, until everything was almost invisible. I mean, let's face it though, you're never gonna get invisible seams unless you're just really good at it, which I am, but you know, it's fine. This works for me. But, so after that, I went ahead and I was thinking about how I was gonna do the teeth. Now, the teeth here were kind of, I don't know, they were a little difficult. There was a lot of different ways I could do it. What I did was I took some small 2mm foam, I bent it and kind of heat formed it into the shape of teeth. Now, that's kind of a quick and dirty way to do it. What I really wanted to do was get foam clay, and I could really kind of sculpt things and make them exactly how I wanted them. I was kind of pressed for time. I didn't end up doing it that way, so unfortunately, this is kind of the quick and dirty one. I could have made a better one. And then I also wanted to have some teeth over here, so when the face was opening up, it looked a little bit more realistic. Well, as realistic as Venom, a comic character, is. So after that, the eye was a little bit difficult to figure out because I didn't want to just throw some fabric over it and call it a day. So I actually ended up taking a piece of plexiglass. It was like $2 at Lowe's. Heat formed it a little bit. Well, actually heat formed it a lot of it because those things can hold a lot of heat. In order to bend it, I actually had to take it and really heat it up. So after that, since it was the shape I wanted it to get, I stuck it in there with some hot glue, and yeah, that was the end of the day. So with that being said, we had the teeth, we have the actual head all glued together, and you know, the seams we just talked about, the zipper right here that I could have done better. Then after that really came to the paint job. Now the paint job was actually, it's fairly easy. You just use the black Plasti Dip, and that was it, really. Teeth are white, kind of simple. But what I wanted to do, and if you look a little closely, you can see kind of like the purplish highlights that are in the gums, a little bit on the head and the mask, which don't really show up on camera too well, but if you kind of see it just like hitting the light, it looks pretty cool. Because I really wanted this to be like a dark black, almost like midnight purple type thing. But that's really my whole thought process behind the whole thing. And oh yeah, if you go make this pattern, if you do it, I would probably make it just a little bit bigger, not smaller, don't make it smaller. Make it a little bit bigger, so when you actually make the whole thing, it's actually going to fit on your head a little bit better, because this is a little difficult to get on just because of how tight it is. So it fits, but it's really tight. And if I was to actually put the back and have the zipper on, I think my face is gonna start turning red. So with that being said, if I made this a little bit bigger, it would have been easier to get on, easier to get off. And unfortunately, I didn't do it this time. If I was to make it again in the future, these are things I would kind of learn from. So, and also for the longevity of your prop. As you can see, the starting to split a little bit, and yeah, that's just from taking it on and off and doing several shoots. So really didn't hold up to the test of time. But that is actually how I went about figuring out the Venom head and the side Venom mask. So if you guys have any questions, drop it down in the comments. If you want me to go over any of my other props, some more thought processes, or how I try to make things in the future, or from props I have already done. If you want to know how I made them, drop a comment down in the comment section below. I'll be sure to check it out, and maybe I'll go ahead and do a little bit more. Hope you guys like this new series, and until the next time, guys, stay crafty.